Excellent customer service is very important.
Customers want to feel that you respect them, that you are there for them.
Just making sure the customer is satisfied.
I like the fact that I can communicate personally, not just over the phone.
At the end of the day, they know that they have that one person they can actually call on.
You want to treat that person how you would want to be treated.
We work 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. I try to make every experience a wow experience for the customer.
Prime Minister Perry Christie defends government's response to Hurricane Joaquin. Crooked Island residents speak out in the aftermath of the storm. Island Love plans to donate temporary housing to those in need. Plus, BTC launches a new Text to Donate initiative. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and MD12 starts right now. Helping news tonight amid calls by one cabinet minister for heads to roll over government's handling of the response to Hurricane Joaquin. Prime Minister Perry Christie defended members of the various government agencies today, asserting it is important for him to come to their defense and promote the work they do. Christie's comments came during his first communication in Parliament following the passage of Hurricane Joaquin. Vani Toot reports.
In the wake of Hurricane Joaquin, which devastated parts of the Bahamas and left some areas unlivable, Prime Minister Perry Christie addressed the reckless dissemination of information to the public in the House of Assembly today. As the dangerous storm ripped into the central and southern islands last week, reports surfaced of up to 30 storm-related deaths on Long Island, a malfunctioning Doppler radar at the Met Department, and poor planning by some government agencies. However, during his communication in Parliament today, Christie slammed such misinformation and defended officials from NEMA and the Met Office.
And Mr. Speaker, because of the misinformation, mischaracterization of matters to do with the functioning of people working steadfastly for the government of the Bahamas, at the Met Office, at NEMA, various agencies of the government, where people have continued to mischaracterize, misdescribe, put erroneous information out to the public, inflammatory information out to the public. It is important that I take some effort, Mr. Speaker, in their defense and in their promotion of the work they do.
The Prime Minister's defense of those government agencies came hours after MyCal MP V. Alfred Gray suggested that heads should roll over some agencies' handling of Hurricane Joaquin. Gray said many lives could be lost if you dropped the ball and asserted things that happened could have been better handled by some agencies of the government. However, Christie said this.
All of our agencies are out there in numbers, and they're now being supported by agencies from SEDEMA, Mr. Speaker, in the Caribbean. So, Mr. Speaker, we have in fact been giving, I think, a strong response.
During his communication, the Prime Minister also provided staggering statistics, which detailed the extent of damage caused by Hurricane Joaquin in Crooked Island, which Christie says was hit the hardest. He revealed that every single home on Crooked Island received some level of damage or was destroyed.
Local residences, 65% received major damage, 25% received moderate damage, 6% minor damage, 4% destroyed. Major damage is like the roof is gone and the whole top of the building is gone, or sides of a house is blown out and whatnot, Mr. Speaker. So really, in effect, a part of the 65%, Mr. Speaker, major damage, some of those houses have to be condemned.
Additionally, Christie said 90% of private homes on Crooked Island received major damage. All of the government schools, buildings, and churches were damaged. 85% of the resorts on the island had major damage, and Thompson's Bridge was destroyed. To date, 28 Crooked Island residents have been evacuated and transported to New Providence. Christie addressed Nassau Guardian reports that some of those people are now homeless in Nassau.
One could understand the despair and despondency and the fact that if people are without accommodation, they would want to move. But I would say again, Mr. Speaker, that I'm not going to speak to anything controversial in this communication about people and what has happened to them, Mr. Speaker, except to say that the government of the Bahamas continues to commit itself, Mr. Speaker, to putting all of the resources in place.
To assist in recovery efforts, Christie announced on Tuesday that he would sign exigency orders today to allow affected residents to import items duty-free across the board to bring in whatever is necessary for them to have relief. Reporting for NB12, I'm Vonik Toot.
While on a trip to several family islands yesterday, Christie pledged to sign exigency orders today to allow affected residents to import items duty-free, while admitting that damage would probably total in the tens of millions of dollars. Simone Davis reports.
While the Prime Minister estimated the total damage at tens of millions of dollars, he admitted that an exact figure has not been validated. However, he also said the storm caused enormous expenses to the government and hundreds of residents.
This is a major matter in terms of expense and cost. I said tens of millions, and so I'm going to wait to be corrected in terms of the actual costs, because it's almost frighteningly large in terms of the enormity of it. And so, because to see the way infrastructure has been breached in different parts of Crooked Island, and different parts of Auckland, and different parts of Long Island, and those islands in particular have been devastated in some parts of it, and that means a lot of money.
More residents on Crooked Island shared horror stories of their experience with Hurricane Joaquin, but said they rather rebuild their communities than leave their home. Reuben Ferguson spent 36 hours in the roof of his home with his wife, 2 children, and brother-in-law as water levels rose as high as the sea.
I didn't have a chance to prepare as I should, and definitely after it started, the water was coming up pretty fast, and it came up to the point where me and my wife and my 2 little kids had to go into the ceiling, actually in the closet. And when we was in the closet, it keep rising up so high, I had to bust my way through the ceiling and get into the ceiling of the house. I spent 36 hours there with the hurricane when I could actually, it took off a piece of the roof. And the piece where I was underneath, it didn't get rid of. And me and my wife, 2 kids, and my brother-in-law, we spent 36 hours there. And there's no way we could have come down and nothing, it was just only God actually saved us.
He said his wife and children were without food and water, and because of the flooded area, it was a risk to leave the ceiling. Another resident said as she sat on Sky Bahamas plane on Tuesday morning, only one thing was on her mind as she waited to travel to New Providence.
Everything I've lost, everything that money could buy. Only thing I could say I had my life. And in the last couple of days, I live in my car because the home is unlivable. So I lived in my car, and each day I give God praise and thanks for life. Because of life, I am able to start over again.
During the tour, Prime Minister Christie said the experiences residents had during the storm were shocking, and as he spoke with them, he assured them that relief would be swift, and that seemed to bring some comfort to the shaken islanders.
I've had to promise that I will fly back into this area satellite phones, all right, because quite frankly, they ought to have been there. And even though this is a surprise, we have to be able to anticipate that in emergencies and disasters, communication goes, and we have to have trusted people with the capacity to be able to say what is happening. That's the only way we can exist in this country properly. And so from my point of view, I have learned a lot, I can tell you, by personally going into the field, listening to the stories of people. The fact that we have no refueling capacity in the southern Bahamas is a dangerous kind of situation.
Hurricane Joaquin demolished Crooked Island, which most describe as appearing like a war zone with evidence of destruction all around. Despite the unlivable conditions, dozens of residents have opted to stay, assist with relief efforts, and rebuild. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
The Island Luck web shop chain has plans to donate temporary housing to those residents whose homes were lost to Hurricane Joaquin, according to the company's CEO, Sebastian. He told NB12 today he is in talks with portable home providers in the United States to lease the homes as a means to provide hurricane victims with a place to stay while they rebuild their homes and their lives.
A lot of people are making donations that really only offer a temporary fix. In our opinion, it gives the person an opportunity to survive. But we have to also find measures and programs to assist these people in rebuilding their lives. We're talking to some companies in the United States to lease us portable housing that we can place on the properties of these people that have been totally destroyed, and then they can have some place to live while they rebuild their houses.
As Joaquin moved over the central and southeast Bahamas, heavy winds tore down homes, and torrential downpours and storm surges covered houses in several feet of water, leaving many residents homeless. Bastian said he's hoping the portable homes will be part of a twofold solution, giving residents a place to stay while they repair or rebuild their storm-damaged homes.
In reality, it's easy to say rebuild, and we donate materials and all the products, which is great. But while this building is being rebuilt, where do these people live is the question. So we're looking to find a twofold solution to assist in the rebuilding and the temporary survival of these individuals affected.
Bastian said he does not yet have a number as to how many temporary housing units will be brought in, as he's still trying to find out how many are available. But he's expecting to bring in the homes as early as next week.
As of next week, we have about 35 generators coming to the Bahamas, which we will hand over to NEMA and the SOS Head Knowles Foundation to deploy those to the necessary persons in need. And we hopefully by the next week as well, we should start to receive some of the mobile homes to start to assist with people that are displaced.
He added, although his company is doing what it can to assist, it can't do it alone.
We've just enabled our website to accept donations from our patrons so that they can use their account to make donations to the cause, as well as your patrons can also come in, or anyone can come into any one of our locations and they can make an over-the-counter donations. Those donations we would match dollar for dollar, and we would forward those on to the organizations that are in place to assist the people in need from the South.
When NB12 returns, BTC launches a Text to Donate initiative to provide relief in the aftermath of Hurricane Joaquin. Stay with us.